This is a discussion about the conventions of supernatural horror films.
So with settings, I think like generally like for supernatural it's kind of like a haunted house.
Kind of like a graveyard almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
an eerie kind of setting, like quite dark and
Yeah.
gloomy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
like-
tense atmosphere, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it really sets a scene for the audience to like
Yeah.
really grasp
Because
what
like
the
a haunted
film's trying
house
to get
is
at.
kind of, it creates like really like big fear for like the audience because everyone lives in a
Yeah,
house
and also
really.
in like
So
the woods where they're like quite isolated and
yeah, so it's kind of like really dangerous because you haven't got your safety of going
Yeah.
anywhere. You're just like lost in like a woods.
definitely.
So yeah, it's kind of like graveyard, haunted house, woods kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like generally like what characters would we include?
Kind
like
of like
supernatural.
ghosts, because they're one of the most.
Yeah, like demons.
Like
Yeah.
paranormal stuff because it's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
it's not normal to
It's
watch.
not like
Yeah.
every day.
It takes audience out of their like comfort zone.
Yeah, it's out of their comfort zone, but then it's kind of we bring like realism to it as well with like kind of setting it in like a house
Definitely.
Yeah.
and you know then having like real people
Yeah.
like not zombies or anything like generally it's
Because then
real people like
yeah,
just normal
'cause it
everyday
shows
people.
that, like, it could happen to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
so it's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like and you make it so like realistic that it's like is this going
Yeah,
on?
and it makes the audience feel like danger, like
Yeah.
around their own lives, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really.
So I think,
really
yeah, we've
puts
got to
that
have
scare
that, like,
factor.
Contrast between like everyday ordinary people and then like these complete like obscure demon
Yeah,
evil
abstract
possessed
yeah, sure.
kind of people.
I think that would be good.
Yeah, and then are we going for like a younger audience or teenager?
I think more of like, because when we did our quantitative research, the people that like we interviewed were like
It was
16 to
more
21.
teenagers, yeah.
So I think,
And they were interested in more supernatural.
yeah, so
Yeah,
we have to
exactly,
more
yeah.
like focus it around that group.
So our
Yeah.
protagonists will have to be around that age.
Yeah.
Teenagers,
So
yeah.
instead of using like a child or something, we choose like a teenager because they can relate
Yeah.
more.
And we can still use the whole kind of corruption of innocence
Yeah.
because teenagers are still innocent.
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
not, you know, they're still naive in ways.
Yeah.
So we could like use a character that's like quite pure and you know like you're
So the
straight A
juxtaposition
student
of
kind
like,
of
okay,
thing.
this is bad. comes
Yeah.
in, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So generally, what kind of plot would a supernatural have?
Kind of like possession
Yeah.
of evil, kind of like.
Yeah.
So someone's like being captured almost and like turned.
Yeah,
And
like-
like their innocence
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah,
like they play on the innocence, so like
yeah, kind of like this is the
go
whole like
against it, like the normal ideas of innocence, like go against it,
Yeah.
like the opposite of that,
Yeah.
and the juxtaposition will then again come in and
yeah. So it's kind of
really plays
they're
on
completely
fear.
taken over and changed into something that's just
Mhm.
completely like
Again, you could say that
evil
relates to
and
the
Yeah, it's
audience,
kind of like
doesn't
alien
it?
to them almost. So like
yeah.
you wouldn't expect this person to be like
Be
this.
so like
Mhm.
causing
Yeah.
so much like
Exactly,
disaster
like,
and tragedy
related
and
to the
death.
Because if you
audience
look at them, they
because-
could be quite like nerdy almost.
Yeah.
And yet they've got like this whole other persona.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And it's where they're causing death and
Yeah.
like tragedy. So it's kind of it's really quite a shock factor, really,
Like
isn't
a
it?
contrast almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the contrast
So,
it really
we've
gets
got,
to
like,
them, doesn't it?
So plot wise, we're going on something like a innocent kind of pure person, like their innocence is corrupted by this evil
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
demon, and they're completely changed into something that
Yeah,
not
something
them.
they're not. Yeah.
But yeah, there's still qualities of their innocence
Mm.
which breaks through, which kind of reminds you that like how juxtaposing it all is. Cinematography. Oh yeah, because I was thinking when we were watching Insidious that the whole like in the opening sequence when they have like this
Like
slow
the
kind of
tracking.
the
Yeah.
slow tracking and like how it
Mm.
connects like a ghostly presence.
that's
I
very
think we should
effective,
use that
Yeah.
because it's really eerie because it's kind of like slow, so you're just
mysterious
anticipating.
as well, so the audience won't exactly know what's going on, so they'll think,
Yeah.
oh, it's like mysterious.
I also
Yeah.
think that also in Insidious, and also I watched Dead Silence, and at the beginning they gave like an extreme close-up of like their main antagonist,
Yeah.
and so it
That's
really
what
like
they did in Carrie when I
yeah,
watched that.
exactly,
as
yeah,
well.
it really like shocks the audience and
Yeah.
really like sets them up for like what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah, and then because it did, it like had that big opening sequence, and then there's like this kind of
Yeah,
ghastly
yeah.
woman is revealed, and then it goes to like an ordinary kind of morning routine
Mm.
of a family, and you're just waiting
That's
for
exactly
something to
what happened in
appear.
Carrie. Like there was a woman hemorrhaging, and then it just goes to normal day life.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, I think we should definitely try and
juxtaposition.
do that
Yeah.
because it's kind of
Because
No.
it's unsettling for the audience because they don't know what's coming next. Because they could be
Yeah.
in like an innocent place, but then the next thing
They
they
don't know if it's like
Yeah.
present day or like past.
yeah,
yeah, definitely, and it's kind of you're just the audience is just waiting for
Yeah.
this like massive thing to happen, and it's
Definitely.
just like you can we
Like
should do that like
suspense.
like the suspense, and I think like with the like camera we should try and like skill it in a way that it's you kind of think something's going to happen and then all of a sudden it doesn't.
Yeah, or something different happens.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah,
And
I'm not
yeah,
really-
it all flips.
Yeah.
Also, I think too, we were talking about like the realistic side of it, and to keep it like realistic, I think we should keep like the camera like eye level.
Eye level,
So
yeah, so
it
it's like-
kind of could be you happening
Yeah.
as just a normal
So it's
person.
almost
Yeah.
as if like the audience is either there or
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're observing it or they're part
Mm.
of that.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. Yeah, and then we were speaking earlier as well about like having like a high angle.
Yeah, to show
So
like
it's like
vulnerability.
Oh, the
vulnerability and kind of like the
this teenage
dominance.
character we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, dominance of like an evil, like how
As
they
if
how
you're
they're
above
taking over
them.
and
As if you're above them, kind
Yeah.
of like watching them die.
yeah.
Definitely.
So with mise en scène, I guess because it's like corruption of innocence, we'd have like
Like
children's toys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like white kind of like
White and
dresses.
black.
Yeah.
Contrast because it's like black is connotation
Yeah,
to
definitely.
evil, white is connotation
Yeah.
to purity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
it's like
also when I was watching again Dead Silence for my texture analysis, I realised how there was a lot of low-key like lighting, and
Yeah.
so when they went to these settings that we spoke about earlier, the lighting would be very dark and like gloomy, and there'd only be like
it's like there's
specific.
shadows
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. There'd be
In
only
Carrie, there's
specific
this one
parts.
scene where she's like bleeding, and there's just
Yeah.
a white towel. So where did the blood against the white of the towels
Really stands
really
out.
stands out.
Really
It's
does.
a
Yeah.
massive
Definitely.
contrast.
Yeah, and the same with like white and black. So
Yeah.
it's just there.
Mm.
Because like in
Insidious.
Insidious, they had like the red title, didn't they, with
Yeah,
the black
it's a black
background.
scene,
So it's kind of it makes it stands out and it shows that how like the death and blood is very very prominent and
Yeah.
key in the film.
Mhm.
So editing. I said, oh yeah, we were saying with the Insidious
Yeah.
that when it finishes that it shows the woman and then it fades to black and the sound ends, there's
Yeah.
a pause and you think it's over and you kind of relax a bit
Yeah.
and then
It's
all
like
of a
visual
sudden there's like
outburst.
there's an
Yeah.
explosion of sound and it's
Sound,
like
yeah,
the title
definitely.
pops
Like the
up and
orchestrated sound
yeah.
as well.
it's like a what's it called, visceral
Visceral.
reaction, so it's like a really really shock. It kind of
Yeah.
makes an audience kind
Yeah,
of
you
scream.
kind of got to like relax your audience so you can shock them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like have these
Always
fade
have
to
to
black
have them on their
transitions.
toes.
I think
Yeah.
instead of like a flash to black, there should be a flash to white because it's kind of like dreamlike almost,
Yeah.
and shows like kind of nightmares, and you're not sure if it's like they're dreaming.
Yeah, because I guess
or-
like fade to
I
white is
definitely
a
think
bit.
we're working well on the connotations of the white colour.
Yeah, because we are really focusing on innocence and the
Mm.
corruption of that. So I think we really do have to emphasise this
Yeah.
white comment,
just show
the
like white as much as you can, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, without being too overpowering.
Yeah, and yeah,
What about
So-
sound?
and so sound. Oh, we said like we should have like heartbeats.
Because Insidious is like the ticking of a clock suggests like, well, I thought that it was like a disjointed heartbeat almost, so that it's showing this like death coming or like looming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I guess it like resembles like the anxiety of like the
Yeah.
characters and the
And how the
constant like
audience
nerves.
feel almost.
Yeah,
because
it's like
they're
how
going
they're
through the
feeling.
same as the
Yeah.
character.
I would say that we should use a lot of like non-diegetic
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
background, like orchestrated music to like really emphasise like the scariness of the scene.
Kind of like atonal, kind of like screeches almost.
Yeah, and I think as well as non-diegetic, we should use like diegetic, like nursery rhymes, and like
Yeah.
the music,
Music
boxes.
boxes, yeah.
Because again, that's like innocence and like children.
It's
kind
almost
of.
eerie as well.
I know we're going for more of a kind of young adult teenage audience, but we should also go for like a broader audience. And I think with parents,
They'll be able
having
to
the
relate
children,
to it
it's
as
kind of
well.
that creates like even more fear for
Mhm.
them because they know how like young and kind of vulnerable children are, and to have these nursery rhymes and these children's toys
They'll be able to
being
relate to it
used
as
in
well.
like evil. It's kind of, it makes so much fear for them, so they just want to protect them and they don't want any harm to come to
So they can
them.
relate to it because they will have all gone through that with their children or
Yeah.
when they were a child.
Yeah, and I think like we use like sounds like pianos and violins.
Oh yeah,
and,
definitely. The orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think pianos are quite good because they're relaxing,
Mhm.
but then that's completely juxtaposing
Yeah.
everything else that's going on in the like in the atmosphere.
And the use
The
of like
chords
sharper,
as well.
sharper sounds
Yeah.
would make it a lot more frightening.
And kind of
than-
like, I think like in editing, I can't remember what film it was now, but they use like kind of flashbacks, and like with that they have like an electric shock kind of sound. Yeah, like a sound. Exactly that. And it's kind of like, because as it's flashback, it's kind of that sharp kind of sound. It's quite,
It's as
It's
if
really
someone's-
harsh.
Yeah, it's as if
So it's
someone's been
quite-
electrocuted because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a flash of white and so.
yeah, so
I
it's
think
kind of like,
that
that's
really
really
gets to,
shocking
like,
and like
the
scary.
Mm.
So
Is that all we have to
I
talk
think,
about?
Yeah.
I think we've covered it all, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.